What up, 12th man? Welcome to my studio, the making of the Jim Harbaugh press conference, giving you a little sneak peek on kind of how this all comes together. Basically, I started by writing my script, so I knew in advance what I was gonna have Harbaugh say and what the press questions were gonna be. And then I just found one of the Jim Harbaugh press conferences online. I have it on the screen up here, so while I'm playing the computer, I'm watching his lips and recording myself at the same time. So I gotta find phrases and bits in his press conference that somewhat match the lines that I'm trying to say here. It's a little tricky. So right now I'm recording here on this close proximity mic here in my quiet studio where I can get kind of that isolated sound of when Harbaugh's speaking into the mic. I'm just gonna let the camera run and try to record a few takes to get my Harbaugh voice going. Harbaugh speaks with kind of a lower register. It's a little bit, slightly bit gravelly and a little bit breathy. And he sounds like he's a little exasperated and kind of forces his words out of his throat. So I gotta get into that character as I'm doing this. And shows him saying things that simply aren't true. Oh, that was messed up. Yeah, I gotta pause after simply. Okay, here we go. And shows him saying things that simply aren't true. Ooh, that was actually pretty good. All right, here's that line again. And shows him saying things that simply aren't true. Yeah. I like that. That's pretty good. Again, this is a parody, so it's not like this has to be Hollywood quality. It's meant to look like it's been doctored up. So, you know, I can get away with a little bit, but I want it to at least somewhat feel like the words are connected to his mouth, you know what I mean? What I do is go to different spots in his interview and actually record the takes on those spots. So all my takes are kind of spread around to match where he is, and then later I'll take all the cuts and move them into their proper places. It goes like this.
First of all, there's a video of Colin at a press conference circulating on YouTube. It is completely fabricated and shows him saying things that simply aren't true.
See how that is? So that's kind of how it works. One sliver at a time. So after a while, I have the whole thing put together in a somewhat cohesive fashion. It'd be pretty boring for you to watch like all 2-3 hours of me doing this one line at a time, but at least you get the gist. All right. I just finished recording all of the Jim Harbaugh lines. And so now I got to record the reporter lines. But I'm out here in the garage, which is nice and echoey. I'm gonna record it using my iPhone for a little bit more cruder sounding recording since all the reporters always sound kind of tinny and crappy. Here's reporter Norb. How can you be so sure of what happened that night? Norbert Kawili, ESPN. Coach, how can you say your team is above reproach with all the recent legal issues? Nailed it, first time. But Coach, Aldon Smith already has 2 prior arrests, and he just got arrested again for making a false bomb threat. He just got arrested again for making false bomb threats. There's one threat. Aldon Smith already has 2 prior for making a false bomb threat at the airport. What happens when I try to change the lines on the spot? And he just got arrested again and darn it, reading this wrong. And he just got arrested again for making a false bomb threat at the But Coach, Aldon Smith already has 2 prior arrests, and he just got arrested again for making a false bomb threat at the airport. We asked the tough questions. How would you compare your relationship with Trent Baalke with that of Pete Carroll and John Schneider of the Seahawks? Oh yeah, nailed that one. The Seahawks recently signed Pete Carroll to a new contract, 3 years, 9... Coach, does it bother you knowing that you could have been a top... Coach, does it bother... No. Does it bother you knowing that you could have been a top paid coach right now if Kaepernick could have rejected? You could have been a top paid coach? Could have been a top paid coach right now if Kaepernick could have... Does it bother you knowing that you could have been... Robot! You could have been a top paid coach right now if Does it bother you knowing that you could have been a cop? You could have been a top paid coach right now if Kaepernick could have completed either a fade route. Not either a fade route. Does it bother you knowing that you could have been a top paid coach right now if Kaepernick could have completed a fade route in either the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship last year? I'm calling it good. Done. Back to the studio. Now that I've got all the elements recorded, I can start taking all the audio and marrying it with the video and basically assembling the actual final piece. Either way, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, late Friday night, early Saturday, however you want to call it. And this is pretty typical, actually. I started recording my voice earlier this afternoon, but then kids came home, so I had to do daddy stuff through the evening till the kids were down. Then I'd get back to work. So I've been working on this since about midnight. Like I said, getting up to almost 3 in the morning. Pretty typical for me. Pretty crazy nocturnal type life, but whatever to get the job done, right? I was using a program called Pro Tools, which is specifically audio mixing program. So I recorded all of my voice chunks in here, running it through this board. So then I took everything, loaded all the files into this program, which is Adobe Premiere, to do my video editing. These are the video clips right here. This is the audio that goes with it, and I just gotta now assemble them in order. So I take that first cut, I'm gonna drop it in here at the beginning. So this is the very beginning. This is the video, that's my voice. This is a title right there. So I'll create that little news type title down there to put under Harbaugh. And then this right here, this is ambient noise, so it sounds like we're in kind of a noisy room. When my voice of Harbaugh is talking, I bring the noise down, and then when I go to the garage reporter sound, I'm gonna bring it back up to get that noisy ramp up sound. So starting with that first clip.
First of all, there's a video of
So I got that one, then I gotta get clip number 2. Copy that one over here, drop it in. I've kind of already pre-assembled these in a nice little order, so it's easy to put in order. Third clip. And this is essentially how it's done. So,
first of all, there's a video of Colin at a press conference circulating on YouTube.
that's working pretty good. So now I'm gonna go to the spots where the garage reporter voice has to now be added.
How can you be so sure what happened that night?
All right, so I'm cutting that little line, the first question, and it should come after he says, facts are all revealed.
The facts are revealed.
There we go. The breathy revealed. I popped the line right there. I'm gonna paste it right there. So it's gonna go like this.
All the facts are revealed. How can you be so sure of what happened that night? Well, I can vouch for
So yeah, I actually need to give both more time because right now they're kind of rushing on top of each other. The reporters are never that anxious to say the question, and Harbaugh's definitely not that anxious to give an answer, so I gotta give a little bit more pregnant pause. So let's get just the timing of the reporter down first.
All the facts are revealed. How can you be so sure of what happened that night? Well, I can vouch.
All right, so that feels pretty good, but we gotta give him a little bit more space. So we're just gonna move this whole bit over. There you go, let's see how that sounds.
All the facts are revealed. How can you be so sure of what happened that night? Well, I can vouch for
Yeah, that feels pretty good. All right, so now I gotta close my gap. If I stand in the front of this shot, he's just looking to the reporter. It'll be a jump cut. This whole thing's full of jump cuts, but that's just kind of how it's gonna have to be. All we need now is a little bit of a ramp up in the noise. So what I'm gonna do is going to just take our ambient track, make it louder during the reporter's time talking, and then it's gonna come back down right as he finishes. Here, let's hear what that sounds like.
facts are revealed. How can you be so sure of what happened that night? Well, I can vouch for Colin watching SportsCenter.
That's pretty good. So I'll just have to repeat that same process for each reporter question, and then that'll be pretty much done. Just give you a little inside, behind the scenes look at the making of a Norb dub press conference. Hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait to do the next one. I have no idea who I'm gonna dub over next time, but I might do a Seahawk for the next one. Don't worry, I'll be kind, but it'll still be fun. All right, I need to finish this and try to get some sleep. Hopefully I'll be done by 4 in the morning. Fingers crossed. All right, go Hawks.
We are the 12th man, Seahawks, we got your back. Yeah, Seahawks, we got that swag. Yeah, defense, go get that sack. And we will be screaming so loud my ears are ringing. Opponents are false starting.